Okay, guys, Mrs. Ackland here. Let's take a look at our IXL for today. Area and perimeter in the coordinate plane. I'm just looking down here to see what lessons we have. So if you aren't sure how to find the area of a rectangle or a square, it would be the same method. You can click on this, area of rectangles. If you're not sure how to find the area of a triangle, you can click on this. I'm going to be just putting our formulas up on the screen for us as we go along. And if you're not sure how to find perimeter or what perimeter is, you can click on the perimeter lesson down there at the bottom. Our first question says, what is the area of square GHIJ to find the area of any rectangle? And a square really is a rectangle. We just multiply the base times the height. Okay, what does that mean? We want to multiply this length right here, the base, times this length right here, the height. There's a couple of ways that we can measure this. One way is we can just simply count the squares, which is probably what I'm going to do for this problem right here. When the shapes get a little bigger and the points are more spread apart, we may use the numbers on the X and Y axis to help us with our measuring. All right, for the base here, I'm going to count those squares. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the base has a length of 5. And then the height, let's count these squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It has a height of 5. All we are going to do is multiply those two numbers together. So we can, if you guys need to, you can certainly use a calculator for this. 5 times 5 is equal to 25. So the area is just 25. We just multiply those together. That's it. Okay, a rectangle. The area of a rectangle is also going to be base times height. Okay, and so the base is going to be this length right here, and the height is going to be this length right here. So let's go ahead and let's start with the base. So let's see. So this base, we can count squares again. Why not? Let's count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So the base is 9. All right, and then for the height, I think I am going to use the numbers on the y-axis here. So the height goes from positive 2 down to negative 9. Whenever we are going from a positive to a negative and we want to find the distance, we're just going to add those absolute values together. Okay, so from positive 2 down to negative 9, it's just 2 plus 9, which is 11. Now we're going to multiply the base times the height. 9 times 11. And 9 times 11 is just equal to 99. So let's go ahead and put that in. All right, we have another area problem. For this one, we can definitely count those squares because these are really close together. So this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the base is 4. And then the height is also going to be 4 because they're saying it's a square. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Base is 4, the height is 4. 4 times 4 just gives us 16. All right, here we go. Here is a perimeter problem. So what is perimeter? Perimeter is just the distance all the way around. So if we can figure out what the lengths are of these sides, then we can just add them up. Okay, it does say that this is a square. So for a square, we only need to find the length of one side, and then all of the other sides are going to be the same. Okay, so I think I'm going to find this length right here from T to S. You can count squares if you want. I am going to use the x-axis to help me with this. So T goes from negative 9 all the way up to S, which is at positive 4. Okay, so from negative 9 to positive 4, when you are finding the distance between a negative number and a positive number, you add them together. So you add together their absolute values. 9 plus 4 is equal to 13. So this is 13, and that means that all of the other sides are 13 as well. So we can come over here and we can just do 13 plus 13 plus 13 plus 13, right? It has 4 sides, and that's going to give us an answer of 52. Okay, the other thing we could have done is we could have taken 13 and just multiplied it by 4, since they're all the same length. Either way, you end up with 52. Okay, perimeter. All right, so let's see. This is not a square, so we do need to figure out what all of the sides are. So this little side right here has a length of 1, and this one also has a length of 1. How about this one from V to U? Let's go down here and let's look. This is from -6 to +9. So from -6 to +9, let's add the absolute values. 6 plus 9 is 15. So that means the top edge is 15 and the bottom edge is 15. And we need to add all of these up. So I'm going to go over to my calculator and I'm going to add 15 plus 1 plus 15 plus 1. So 15 plus 1 plus 15 plus 1 gives us 32. And that is the perimeter. Okay, so this one, they want us to find the area and the perimeter. No big deal. And this is a rectangle. Okay, so we do need to find all 4 sides. So I'm going to count squares. These aren't too far apart. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and then since we're finding perimeter, I'm going to label the other sides as well. So for a rectangle, if this side is 6, then this side has to be 6 also. And then if this side is 5, then this side has to be 5. So let's see, for area, we multiply the base times the height, so 6 times 5. So for the area, we're going to do 6 times 5, which is 30. And then for the perimeter, we add up all of the sides. So we're going to add all those numbers. We're going to do 6 plus 5 plus 6 plus 5. Which is equal to 22. Okay. I think that there are triangles. Ah, here we go. Good. I was going to say, I think there are triangles in this lesson, and I want to make sure I show you guys one of those. So for perimeter of a triangle, it would just be the same that we've been doing. You would just find the distance all the way around. For area, though, we do have another formula. So the area of a triangle is equal to 1/2 times the base times the height. So we are, again, going to count squares or use the numbers on the axes to find the lengths of the base and the height. We're going to multiply them together, but for a triangle, we take that result then and multiply it by 1/2 or divide by 2, however you want to think about it. Let's start with the base. So the base is from G to H. That's from 2 to 9, okay? And these are both positive numbers, from +2 to +9, so we do want to subtract them. 9 minus 2 is 7. And then we will go ahead and we will do the height. Okay, and the height goes from -5 to +9. One's a negative and one's a positive, so we add those if we're going to find the difference. So +9 to -5, 9 plus 5 is equal to 14. So we are going to do 1/2 times 7 times 14. 1/2 times 7 times 14 is equal to 49. And that's it. Okay, we've got another area problem. This is a rectangle. Area of a rectangle is base times height. Okay, so the base goes from -8 to 0. So that's a distance of 8. And the height is just 1. It's just 1 square tall. So base times height, 8 times 1 is equal to 8. That's the area. All right, maybe we'll do one more and then we'll call it quits. I really don't think there are any more different types of problems. You're either finding the area of a square or a rectangle, the perimeter of a square or rectangle, or the area of a triangle. Okay, so perimeter here, that's the distance all the way around. So we need to figure out what the lengths are of each of the sides. So this top edge is 1, 2, 3, 4. Has a length of 4. So the bottom edge has to be the same. I'm going to go ahead and copy that 4 down. And then the height here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the other side has to be 5. So the perimeter is just going to be 4 plus 5 plus 4 plus 5. And that is just going to be equal to 18. All right, guys. Actually, you know what? Let's do this one. This one is asking us for the perimeter of a triangle, and there's a little bit more to this one. Okay, so let's do this. This will be the last one. I'm glad we got this problem because I was about to end it. Okay, so perimeter, we need to know the lengths of all the sides. Let's start with the ones that are, the easier ones. Okay, so let's start with the base and the height. So the base here from I to H goes from 0 up to 9. Okay, this is 9 right here, and this is 0. So from 0 to 9, that has a length of 9. And then the height from H to J goes from 2, positive 2, to negative 10. So the distance between a positive number and a negative number, we add them. 2 plus 10 is 12. Okay, and then the question becomes, what is the length of this side right here? And we can use the Pythagorean theorem for this. You could also use Pythagorean triples. If you guys remember 3, 4, 5 triangles, you can do that. I'm not going to, maybe I'll show you that in a second, but let's do the Pythagorean theorem method. This will work for anything. So if we know the lengths of the two legs, we're just going to take the square root of the sum of the squares of the two legs. So the square root of 9 squared plus 12 squared is going to give us the length of that hypotenuse. Let's jump over here and do that. Okay, so it's the square root of 9 squared plus 12 squared, and we end up with 15. Okay, and then we would just add these three numbers together. So we would do 9 plus 12 plus 15, because this is asking us for perimeter. If this was area, we would be doing 1/2 times base times height, but it's perimeter, so you have to be careful of what they're asking for. So 9 plus 12 plus 15 is 36. Okay, and 36 is going to be our final answer here. If you guys know about Pythagorean triples, a 3, 4, 5 triangle is a really, really, really common type of right triangle. Now, the sides of this triangle are not 3, 4, and 5, so that might not be, even if you know about Pythagorean triples, that might not be immediately obvious to you. But 3, 4, 5 is a right triangle, and then if you take the numbers 3, 4, and 5 and multiply them by 2, or by 3, or by 4, or by 5, those are also all Pythagorean triples. So this is really 3 times 3, 3 times 4, and 3 times 5. So 9, 12, 15 is a really common type of right triangle. You don't need to know that to solve this problem, but I thought I would add that in there as a side note. Okay, so we counted squares, or we found the distance of the base of the triangle, we found the height of the triangle, we used the Pythagorean theorem to find the hypotenuse, and then because they're asking us for perimeter, we added the numbers together and we got 36. Let's go ahead and submit. Okay, and that is it. Oh, look at this easy problem. Don't you just want to try this one? What's the perimeter of this square? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do it. Teeny tiny little square. Okay. And we'll stop right there. Let me know if you guys have any questions.